Okay, we're live in the flesh, and look who I got next to me as well, man. Mr. Aston Villa himself, Gabby. What are you saying, bro? You good?
Yeah, man, I'm good. You?
Yeah, can't complain, man. Listen, we're soon going to be loud out of lockdown. We're soon going to be out to get out on these pitches as well. And there's going to be no more 5K runs. That's it, man. We're actually going to be going back to normality as well, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think everyone feels the same, don't they? Get some football in. These runs are hurting my shins, my knees. They're no good.
Listen, this is the fittest I've ever been, I swear.
Nothing else to do, is there? Than do running. That's what I do every day. Don't do 5 to 7K a day running out on the roads. You know, feel good for it as well, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. Although I don't do road runs, man. It hurts my knees, man. I'm getting old.
Yeah.
So I go down the local fields a couple times, go for a little walk, and that's me. I'm done. So, yeah, man. It's good to hear that you're doing well then. And I see you're busy as well, man. You're everywhere now.
Yeah, you know what? The media work's fun. Like, I enjoy, finishing football, talking about football. Football's always my passion. So to get a chance to talk about it on different channels, there's nothing better, really.
Yeah, you know what you love doing? You love winding people up. That's the thing as well.
What? I was always the wind-up at Villa, always the one in the changing rooms, the biggest wind-up. So, you can't change what you are, can you? No matter you got media work, you are what you are. So
Exactly. Listen, whenever I see your name pop up, we're like, oh, what's he done now? What's he said now? you and Leeds fans are like this right now.
I love it though, but you know what? I won't be driving past Leeds or driving to Leeds anytime soon.
Yeah, put it that way. Oh man, but yeah, good to hear you doing well. Listen, I wanted to catch up with you, and obviously we both previously spoke before, but I want to speak again just about like your career and stuff like that, and get your opinions on certain things. So yeah, I just want to take you back as well, like because when you grew up, you were around Birmingham, around the Midlands as well. Like, what was it like, man, growing up?
So what do you mean before football?
Before football, like growing up as a youngster, what was it growing up? Getting into football. What was it like?
Luckily, I've got two older brothers, and there's only a year and a half between each of us. So we used to play one-man Wembley in the garden non-stop. In the summer holidays, non-stop, breaking fences, breaking windows, jumping over fences to get the ball from the next door neighbour's house and crushing their plants. But it was football. We were addicted to football as kids. It was our way of enjoyment. We weren't allowed on the streets. We weren't allowed to play with the kids on the roads outside the house. My dad was that strict Nigerian father. It was play football in the back garden or do your school work upstairs. Two choices, or watch football. That's it. We couldn't watch anything else but football. It was football or education. That's it. And we had a good childhood. We never had. We had everything that we needed. A warm home, food on the table. Did we have all the luxuries? No, we didn't. But when you're that age, you don't really need it. You are used to what you've been brought up with, and yeah, lovely family, religious family, and yeah, a really good upbringing by my dad and my stepmom.
You mentioned there a lot of damage at the start, man. Did you pay it all back or what? All them broken fences and stuff, broken windows.
Them fences that you used to have back in the day, they weren't very strong, was they? And if you took a shot, the ball would go straight through the fence. You'd have to climb on the fence, break the fence. I remember once we broke the living room window. And my dad come back from work, he was fuming. I don't think he had a good day at work, And he's thinking, obviously you're thinking cost, aren't you? That's going to cost you this when you've got a strict budget. So damage was made. But when I look back, I think how lucky I was to have two brothers, that we could play with each other all the time, and football was basically life.
Be honest, did you blame on your brothers?
You know what? The middle brother was better than me. I was better than the older one, but the middle brother was he was different to me. He was proper skillful, probably the same speed as me, but with extra skill as well. But what cost him, I think, was he went to a grammar school. He was very clever, and they played rugby at grammar schools back then. They didn't have a football team, so he didn't have a chance to play during the school and didn't get spotted. So that if you asked him today, that would still be the excuse that he made. But he was a very good player, but didn't make it.
Okay. So what happened? Well, how come you didn't get into rugby, or was that were you into rugby as well?
I wasn't clever enough to go to a grammar school. I just went to the round the corner from the house. You know, I wasn't very clever at school, so I think, as crazy as it sounds, me not being clever at school made me go to a school where I played football and I got spotted. You know, so
Yeah.
strange things happen for a reason, don't they?
True, very true. So you grew up around, is it Erdington, right?
Yeah, Erdington, yeah.
Yeah. Because there's a team called Erdington United. Again, they'll probably be listening to this as well, and they remember going to watch you at games and all the rest of it. And in fact, they probably want to send you a shirt as well. So after this, I'll have to give you the details as well. So shout them out as well. In fact, they probably want to get you to play for them as well. You know, if you can still put.
I wish.
But yeah, what was it like growing around Erdington? Like, as you said, you grew up around a good family and stuff. But what was the community like as well?
Yeah, it was a good community. You know, it's an area where, you know, it's got like a lot of areas. It's got its rough parts, you know, and it's got its rough kids that hanged around the area. But we was always kept away from that. You know, the kids that got up to mischief, we were kept away from that. It was basically school, home, football, or education. Do you know? So we was always like kept away from that part. My dad was very clever, and he knew that if you're hanging around on the streets with other kids, you're going to get into mischief. And a lot of kids we know got into trouble. So it was quite a rough area in that sense, but we were always hidden from it. Does that make sense? We were always at home, like house kids playing football. So we were sort of like shielded from that sort of life.
Yeah, that's cool. And you said like you was the prankster back at school. Now I can imagine you're a bit of the mischievous one. Yeah, is that you?
You know what? Not at school. You know, because my dad's not a Nigerian man and he's so strict. Like you could not do anything wrong. Like you were frightened of like getting a call to your dad saying that you messed about at school. I was golden at school. I wasn't very clever. I never was naughty at school. I was frightened. Like if you speak to a lot of other Nigerian players or people and ask them about their parents, like the belt was ready, the cane was ready. They were just ready on the floor.
On deck,
Ready.
ready, man.
Like the cane, we had a tree outside the house where my dad would cut the cane off. He'd get his big knife and cut the cane off, and then bring it in and beat us with it if we'd like done something wrong. So like you were that scared of that punishment. You would never dare like disturb anyone in class or have a bad report or your concentration was bad at school or nothing like that. None of us, because you were that frightened, because he was so good at school, so clever. He was a doctor in chemistry. Like he would never allow these kids to be naughty at school. So my mischievous started when I got into like the youth team at Villa, and got into like when I come to probably under 17s, 18s, and it carried on from there really. But never as a child, never ever.
Yeah, that just gave me flashbacks, boy, man. I remember one time I was so bad, and I was basically told to pick your poison. In it, like there's a branch there, there's a belt there, and there's a slipper there. Which one?
I haven't said it before, but my dad had some next sort of like level of punishment. It was basically imagine your dining chairs in the kitchen.
Yeah.
We had to hold it up in the air like that, and if your arms bent, he'd belt you as a punishment. So basically, you're standing there, right, and he's eating his dinner after work, and you're dripping with sweat down your arms, dripping, and like that was worse than getting belted. It was like some like CrossFit training, like do you know like what it was the punishment? Next level of like, do you know what I mean? Punishment. But when we look back at it now, we laugh about it. He denies it, and we laugh about it. But
they all do. They always deny it. Like, nah, I didn't do that. Nah.
My dad would say to my kids, "Oh, he's lying. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's lying." But he forgets when you're 12, 13, you have memories. You don't forget what happened when you're 12, 13. But when I watched like Eubank with Piers Morgan, live story, Eubank mentioned it. About what he went through. And it was just something that was normal to probably my dad growing up in Nigeria. And then he brought that normality to his kids. But it made me who I am today. It kept me disciplined. It kept me off the streets. And I'll never ever complain about the punishments, the beltings, the whips we got, because it kept us out of trouble and kept us like grounded.
Yeah, and that's the main thing there. Didn't you said you got spotted in school then? Is that correct?
Yeah, like I'm not gonna boast, but like even from primary school, we used to have this little mini World Cup. It was called in the summer, where you pick your teams, year 6 and year 5, and the year 6 was always 5 over picking me to be on their team, and like I just always stood out because I was so quicker than everyone else. Even from primary school days of like year 3, year 4, year 5.
Mm.
Then secondary school, I was always like ripping it up in the school football team. Didn't miss a game. Then I got spotted by the district, and then I remember I played a district game and got spotted by Villa and Wolves at the same time when I was like 12, and I had a trial with both of them at the same time. And because I'm a Villa fan, I chose Villa over Wolves. But I was sort of like always ripping it up at school. And imagine thinking back to school teams where you got slow defenders and you had like my pace. I was just terrible.
Day, mate. Literally.
Do you know what I mean? Like pace kills, isn't it? And especially when you're like 12, 13, you got like slow defenders in teams. Do you know what I mean? So my pace always stood out. I wasn't great technically. I didn't have any skills, but because I was so quick, I'd always get through one-on-one. And then you're going to score 50% at least of your chances, aren't you? 1v1s. I'd have probably 10, 15 one-on-ones a game.
So how many was you bagging then? You probably bagging like 10, 11s a game, innit?
Yeah, I broke Darius Vassell's record in the youth team of goal scorers in a season. It was just mad because I had like Craig Gardner. Remember Craig Gardner?
Yeah.
And he was very good technically, so he'd always put the ball through to me. It was like Gardner to Agbonlahor, goal, goal, goal. It was like playing FIFA and just pressing lofty through ball every time. But like, yeah, just scoring goals and being a really, really fast striker,
Yeah. Didn't you play for? I read somewhere that you play for Great Bar Falcons. Is that correct?
That was my Sunday league team. Yeah, I scored loads of goals for them, but then I didn't get scouted playing for them. It's crazy. Like I used to score probably 3, 4 a game, sometimes 5, 6 a game. I never got scouted. It was that district, the local district of Erdington team that I got scouted at.
So what? A scout just came and watched you and said, "Oh, I like the look of him. He scored about 50 this game."
Isn't it? It's all about a bit of luck of a scout being at the game where you're playing. Imagine how many games there is in Birmingham going on a Sunday. They can't get to every game, can they? So I think back then as well, there was no social media. Do you know what I mean? It's just word of mouth if a player was a good player. Now you got social media, there's clips of players when they're on an under 12 game. Then everyone's going to the game to watch. You got probably more chance now of being spotted. Back then it was like, oh, okay, there's no video phones to video. Do you know what I mean? It was a bit of luck to get scouted and get signed.
But your name must have been like ringing bells like round the area, like, oh, check out Gabby, he's notching every single week sort of thing. No?
You know what? It wasn't. It was different back then. It was different. It was like he was doing really well for your Sunday league team and the district and stuff, but the scouts weren't really about. I don't know if the scouts were chilling at home and not doing a job, but scouts weren't spotting players. Do you know what I mean? It's not like these days now where clubs have got 25, 30 scouts scouting across the country and world or whatever. Back then, it wasn't like that. Like, it was because I played in that district game and I'd done really well in school that they says we want to offer you a trial. And then I actually went on trial at Aston Villa for 1 week, played a game on the Sunday. Again, I remember it like it was yesterday against Crew Alexander away. Scored a hat trick in the game, and straight after they were like, "We're signing you."
Wow.
Wolves wanted to sign me as well, but I was like, "I'm going to Villa." So because I scored a hat trick, they were like straight away. It was meant to be a 6-week trial. It was a week, and they signed me straight away.
Just like that, yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's because the pace was like it was mad. You know what I mean? Like people don't probably realise the younger generation now, but back then, like the pace was just so quick that like Villa thought they could coach me how to control the ball properly and sort your first touch out and movement and finishing. And that's what I've done all through the youth team. I got better every year by practicing. And even when I got to the first team, practicing helped my game so much.
So was you ever into athletics? Because all I'm hearing is pace. But you must have been into athletics. You must have been.
Yeah, it was funny. my dad used to give us money to go to Alexander Stadium. You know where that is in Birmingham? It's like not the big stadium where you can go on a track and that. And my dad used to give us money, or me and my two brothers, to go and practice sprinting. But as you do, we went and we climbed over the back fence and didn't pay the entrance fee because we wanted to use that money for sweets on the way home. So I at the back of Alexander Stadium, jump over, use the track and stuff, and then leave. And then I started really getting into athletics. Then I had to make a choice. It was football or athletics. And what I laugh about today is that it's a good job I chose football, because Usain Bolt would have beat me every time we raced, because we're similar age, aren't we?
Oh yeah.
So I was racing against Usain Bolt, so I would never have won anything. So job that I chose football. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So you made the right choice overall. But I would have been sick still.
And I think football as well, like that. My dad was like football straight away, and I was, because you can be the 3,000th best player in the world and make a living at the game. Do you know what I mean? Athletics, you got to be like top 4, top 5 to make decent money. You can't be like 100th quickest in England or the world. Do you know what I mean? You're not making money, like enough money to like live off. So I think football was always the one that I wanted to pursue.
Okay. All right. So you're in at Villa now. So what's your first initial thoughts? Like, things have got proper serious now. No more, notching 14 goals on the weekend or whatever, or for school. Like, it's actually proper serious, proper training. Told everything. Like, what's your initial thoughts when you're in at Villa?
Well, once I'm into the youth team or the first team?
Yeah, in the youth team before first team.
You know what? The youth team, I remember I was scoring goals, but back then it was like year-to-year deals. You know, when you're 12, 13. So you had that nervous meeting at the end of the season. You're getting a new deal. Your heart's racing. You and your dad are waiting outside the academy director's office, and you're like coming out. There's other kids crying. You're coming out buzzing. You got another year. And it was just year by year, just trying to get through and keep your status as a Villa player. Do you know what I mean? And I remember I was doing really well, and then I remember it got serious. Probably like when you get to under 18s and you're like, you know what? I've got a chance here. Do you know? Like, I think when you're 12, 13, 14, 15, in your mind, you're thinking, yeah, I've got a chance, but it's so hard to make it. Look how good they are in the first team. Do you know what I mean? Then you get to 17 and you're like, yeah, I've got a chance, But I remember, like, sometimes at 17, I used to go out Friday night before a game Saturday. Like, because I've been sort of locked up all my life.
Yeah.
Really being able to see friends. I got to 17, finished school, had school friends. They'd go to these like speed garage raves on a Friday night in Birmingham, and like I'd go with them. But I was still living at home, so my dad got that fed up.
Yeah.
But because I was bigger, I couldn't get the belt no more. I was too, you know what I mean? Like, you can't help me when I'm 17. I'm bigger than you. So
he didn't upgrade now. He didn't go from the belt to, like, I don't know, the handle.
He knew he couldn't do it no more. You know what I mean? We're older now. You're not getting away with it. But my dad done something that most parents will never do. You know what he did?
What?
He phoned the academy director and told them that I was going out.
That's the one. He's like, no, I can't do it. I can't do it physically now.
Them, and like that made me stop. And I don't think some parents will do that. Risk their son getting sacked from an academy. Do you know what I mean? But
yeah.
I was at that age, and I was like, oh, that's what clubbing's like. Oh, wow, I can do that. Oh, you get into that life of like, oh, that's what a drink tastes like.
Yeah.
So like that stopped me, and then my head was down. And in the youth team, I started banging in goals, still banging in goals, and getting records for under 18s, and that's when it becomes serious. Of like, you know what, you got a chance here of like making a good living for yourself.
Yeah, but when your dad grassed you up, what was he thinking? Like, Dad, what are you doing, man?
Can't do that. What are you doing? I was like, please don't do that, please. You know what I mean? Because someone that you're always scared of, because they're the boss. You don't want to upset them, because do you know what I mean? They've got the power to like sack you. And the academy director was like you, if you go out again, you don't, like, no going out. And I was like, all right, and I stopped.
Yeah, but when you was going out, when you was going out, was you getting like a taste of it, innit? Like, oh, this is what it's like, going out as a footballer, sort of thing.
And you know what? Because I was nothing then. I was nothing. I was just a 17-year-old boy that played for Villa, but I was in the academy. You're nothing. No one knows you. You're just a
Yeah.
17-year-old boy out with your mates. So it wasn't really that. It was more just like any normal 17-year-old boy out there who has got into.
Don't tell me you weren't going. I play for Villa, you know. You wasn't
Nah,
that.
because you're not. You playing in for Villa is not until you get into the first team. Yeah, it's proud to be in the Villa Academy and stuff, 100%. But you've done nothing yet. So if you're telling people you're playing for Villa, like, oh, I'm in the under 18s, like they'll be like, so my cousin was 10 years ago. My uncle was, and when he was, do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
really to shout about. It was more just I'm out with friends, enjoying my speed garage raves, drinking my WKDs, my Smirnoff Ices, you know what I mean? And just enjoying, because that was the main night back then, a Friday, so I couldn't miss it. I was like, I can't miss this. But I got a game tomorrow, but I'll be all right. I'm young, do you know what I mean? You're all right. And you know, when you're drinking, you're young, you're like, yeah, I'll be all right. So, yeah, that was it, really.
Okay. I'm surprised. I would have thought, you know what, approach a nice little girl down Broad Street or whatever. Yo, you know, I might be playing for a villain one day. You might see him on the screen, or you want a blanket, nah?
Nah, not at that age, because like I said, you've done nothing yet. Do you know what I mean? Like you're 17, and you're in the academy. It's a pleasure to be in it, but you've not achieved anything, you know.
Okay, all right. I would have done that anyway, but still. So when you get to the big time, when you get to the first team, what's that like? Because again, you've gone from, you know, playing with the kids. In fact, before you answer that, who was in your age group growing up? Like anyone who made it?
Craig Gardner.
Yeah.
Isaiah Osborne, he made it as well. He played as well. Who else was there? That was it, I think, in my age group. But the one above me was like the Luke Moore brothers, Luke Moore,
Yeah.
Stephen Moore. There was like Ridgewell. There was quite a few in that age group. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
Me and them, me, Craig Gardner, Isaiah Osborne. But before I made my debut at Villa, I went on loan, didn't I, to like Sheffield Wednesday and Watford, and I had a beast.
Yeah.
I was homesick. I remember being at Sheffield Wednesday and being at Diggs, and I just hated football. I was playing reserve team football at Sheffield Wednesday on loan. I was like, I just the reserve team manager hammered me. He was like, "You little big time so and so from Villa. Who do you think you are?" Do you know what I mean? Like just being like ruthless. I was like, "This isn't football. Like this, I don't enjoy this." I was like,
But wasn't they trying to ground you though? Weren't they trying to like keep you humble, keep you?
yeah, probably. But sometimes when you're 18, you're in a new surroundings, and you think, you know what, I'm coming on loan to play, but I'm playing reserve team football. I'm in dig sort of thing, and I'm thinking like, oh, come on. Craig Gardner had made a debut, and I'm thinking like, oh man, this isn't meant to be like. And I remember just like being so bad on loan, and like I didn't score in 2 loan spells at Sheffield Wednesday and Watford, barely
Yeah.
played. So got back to Villa, and I made my debut because of injuries and illnesses, not because I was chosen by David OLeary. Do you know what I mean? I was bottom of the pile.
Oh, was it? So not even like, oh, you've gone away, you've gone and impressed, come back, you're straight in.
Yeah, because I done so bad on loan. Do you know what I mean? You go on loan as a youngster, you don't do well. The first team aren't going to bring you in. Do you know what I mean? And like,
Yeah.
I remember like going back to the reserve team and like a bit down, and then I got the call like the first team needs you. Juan Pablo Angel's ill, Kevin Phillips, I think he might have been maybe injured. So and so's ill. It's only you and Luke Moore left, so you start. You starting, not even like you in the squad. You start, so from nothing to you starting.
Mad.
The 4-4-2 then it was like you starting. I was like, eh? What are you talking about? Do you know what I mean? Like 19, like not done well on my loans, thinking like, oh, I can't be bothered with football. This isn't what it's meant to be like, you know. And I just remember like done nothing in the game, got battered 4-1, but I scored.
Nuts, yeah.
So like, because I scored, it was like the next day it was like Villa battered, but young star scores on Premier League debut at 19. So it's like, whoa, who's that young kid? Even though I was in the game, and my goal was quite a lucky goal where maybe I got a shot across the goal, but Richard Wright, I remember, should have saved it. He bobbled underneath him, sort of. But that goal made my career, because if I didn't score that, the other strikers come back next week, I would have been back in the reserves. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know what would have happened.
Yeah, everything happens for a reason in those instances there. But talk to me about them instances. You know, you get battered, yeah, but you scored. Do you honestly think I've done my job? It's their fault? Like,
Nah, not when you get a bit older. In that game, I was more bothered about me scoring. I'm not gonna lie, because I'm 19. It's my debut. My dad's in the crowd, buzzing. Everton away. The fans are close to you, and I've scored. I scored a Premier League goal. Like, this is what you dream of as a kid. You know what I mean? Like, I've actually done it. Even if I never played another game, I've done it. I've scored in the Premier League. Like, some players play League One, League Two, Championship, never played Premier League football. I've made a Premier League appearance. I've scored in the Premier League. What was the score? I don't know. I scored, mate. Like, do you know what I mean? When you get older, it's different. Do you know what I mean? You obviously care about the result as well, but when you're on your first season, you're about, you know what, making a name for myself.
Yeah, true. Okay. I always wondered that, because like, you come in, you're there to score in it. You're a striker. You're there to notch. If the defense ain't doing their job, then it's on them. I know this whole, it's a team game and all the rest of it, but in the back of your mind, really and truly, you're thinking.
Oh, in the back of your mind, when you get on that coach after the game, buzzing with your agent on the phone and on the text saying, you know what, you scored today, well done. You're buzzing. Like, you're not going to get hung to dry for them conceding 4 goals. I mean, that's like, it's not your job. You're up front. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And what was the team look like? What was David O'Leary saying in the change room? Like, did he roll up the whole team, or was like, shit, you're all right?
Yeah, he wasn't really like that. He was quiet. Like, I didn't like David O'Leary. You know, he made I made my debut under him because by default he was the sort of manager that would like walk past you in a corridor, and the corridors like that, the old Aston Villa training ground, some old school, and he just walked past you, look at the air, you say morning, ignore you. Like, no one liked David O'Leary in the. No one liked him. You can even ask ex-Leeds players that don't like him. He was proper arrogant.
That's mad. Because I remember he got, as you said, Villa, Leeds. Where else did he go?
I think that was him.
Oh no, that's mad. Okay.
It was proper arrogant, but so then that end of that season, he got the sack, didn't he?
Yeah. Then Martin O'Neill came in, right?
Yeah.
And that was when everything just went from there, right?
Yeah, it was mad. Like he was obsessed with pace and youth. So
yeah, like that team. Oh, the team that you're gonna get onto.
Yeah.
What, Young and them, man?
Yeah. At that time, he come in and he was like done so well at Celtic. There were fans outside Villa Park. There was a new owner, Randy Lerner. So it was like a new era, new owner, new manager. Everyone excited. The attendances were getting bigger at Villa Park, and he was obsessed with pace. It was like Angan in the middle, me on the right, Luke Moore on the left. He played like a 3. So I played on the right wing. I didn't really like it on there, but obviously I'll play there. Do you know what I mean? I'm playing for Villa. And it was just like raw pace down the right, get crosses in for Angel. Do you know what I mean? That season was just like me learning how to play football at that level, and like tactically where you got to get back and defend, so on. And like, he just loved me from day one. I was like his son. It was like, this 19-year-old boy, rapid, like, he's in my team, because I think even he knew pace kills, doesn't it?
Yeah. I've got a question, in fact, from Billy Cove. Usually comes on these shows with me, so shout out to him as well. He said, if Gabby could have his career again, would he be a bit more stubborn and refuse to play as a right winger and stay in his natural position as a forward?
No, because if you start doing things like that, you know, managers, they will tell you you're not playing then. You can't really say to a manager, I'm not playing on the right wing, I want to play centre forward. You know, when it's funny that like people sometimes judge me on my goals, but I played half of my games as a left winger. That's what people don't understand. And this isn't a left winger like Mane and Salah. This is an old winger where you're defending, mate. You're out wide, you're not getting shots. So like, I had to like adjust to different roles, left, right, in the number 10 striker. And do you know, you have to like be able to play different positions to get game time. If I said I don't want to play as a striker, I would have played. I got half the appearances because formation changed. Darren Bent comes to Villa. Benteke comes to Villa. Do you know what I mean? So if I couldn't adapt play in other positions, or if I couldn't play other positions, then I would never have played.
True. Good mindset to have. Got one in here from Galacticos. They're based in Birmingham as well. Shout out to them. What was the best offer you received from another club?
So I think it was the season Martin O'Neill left and Gerard Houllier come in. It was like the end of that season, I think it was. And Harry Redknapp sort of like his guy that done the dirty work behind the scenes. Do you know what I mean? Like, that tapped up players.
Them ones, yeah.
Got in touch with my agent and they wanted me to come to Spurs. But at that time, I thought to myself, Spurs weren't, do you know what I mean? They weren't like top 4 on that season that like I could have went there. And I was getting offered the same money that I was on at Villa. They had, I think it might have been Keane, Defoe, Pavlyuchenko, Crouch. It was like bare strikers. I was like, why am I going to leave? I'm getting to England squads with Villa. You offer me the same money. It's my boyhood club. I'm a Villa fan. You got 27 strikers who are quality strikers. It don't make sense to leave. Do you know what I mean? So that was the main offer that I got. Arsenal were interested as well, but it was the same sort of thing. Arsenal and Spurs weren't fighting for the title. Villa were fighting for top 4. We were top 4. We were 4th for the majority of the season for a couple of seasons, and we slipped off to 6th. Do you know what I mean? So I didn't feel. I thought I was moving sideways, and if it was Man United at that time or Chelsea, I probably would have gone maybe because it would have been hard to turn down them clubs. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Top 4 nothing because what's the point otherwise, isn't it? You're pretty much, as you said, you're leaving your boyhood club just to be at the same level. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so we were beating, but Arsenal as well and teams like that anyway. So
yeah, true. You lot were doing bits at that time. Got one here from Aidan says, "Hello, Gabby, big Villa fan here. Do you reckon Jack Grealish will be a one club man like yourself? Hope you're having a good night, lads."
I think it's a difficult question because I really wanted Villa to push for top 6 this season. I really want them to push for top 6 season still because I feel that if Villa can get into Europe, then there's more incentive to Jack to want to stay. If his agents and people are saying to him, this team wants you playing Champions League, this team are fighting for the title, it's hard to turn down, isn't it? So if Villa got into Europe this season, then it's like, you know what, Jack, there you go. We're playing in the Europa League. We're going to give it a good go. We're going to invest again. Why can't we fight for top 4 next season? West Ham are this season. So I think there's every chance he can be a one club man as long as Villa keep fighting for European places and don't just settle for top 10, top 11, top 12. As long as they keep investing, keep getting the players pushing every game to fight for the top 6, then there's no reason why not. He loves the club. He's Villa captain. He's been at the academy since it started when he was 6. So there's no reason why not. But sometimes the club's got to match your ambition.
No, for sure. Like, he is the main guy. Like, whenever you think of Aston Villa right now, you think of Grealish. And again, he's on point. England settings and all the rest of it. So, like you said, they've got to match his ambition. Otherwise, he could have his pick of clubs. Do you know what I mean? He easily could get into a top 4 club, I think.
Exactly. And it's like, it's probably go time in the sort of like, he needs to be playing European football now. So Aston Villa needs to give that to him, I feel. And they can, that you look at the table at the moment, they're going a little run. They're in and around the top 6 at the moment. Why not just give it a good go now? Go for it. Use Jack when he's back fit. Use, for me, the maybe the top 3 best player in the league. Use him to your advantage. Use him to get into Europe. Use him at your disposal. And everyone give it everything they can to get into Europe so he stays, because you don't want to lose him, because we've seen how Villa have been the last few games without Jack, and you start to look at him and think, you know what, can't let him go. He can't go anywhere because he's so big for Aston Villa's team at the moment.
Yeah, true. Got another one in here from another Birmingham-based side, Nightingale FC. Shout out to them as well. What was your favourite goal? You got a few to choose from against the Blues. Wink emoji up the Villa.
You know what? The best goal it was not the first one I scored at St Andrews, the second one, because the first one was like amazing, and I was in shock. But the second one was the same end of the stadium, St Andrews. It was late on in the game, and it was like you knew what was going to happen. You knew what the celebration was going to feel like because you'd done it. I think it was 2 years before, maybe, or 3. So you knew what you were expecting. You knew what it meant. You knew what the aftermath of the result would be like around the city. Do you know what I mean? The adrenaline. I remember like Ashley Young took a free kick. I think it might have been Carew or Collins nodded it back. And I remember it got heading it bang into the net and like celebrating right in front of the Villa fans, knocking stewards over. I didn't care. Everyone's going on the floor. Do you know what I mean? Like, taking card, I don't care. Even if I was on a yellow card, I would have still gone in the crowd and took a red. I didn't care. That's how much them goals mean to you. Do you know what I mean? Like, only Jack, as a local lad, can probably agree with me. Like, I spoke to him after he scored at St Andrews, and he says best thing he's ever had because you know that like you don't understand the abuse you're getting in that stadium. Like St Andrews is like it's like a little like it's a small stadium. The fans are close to you. In the warm up, you're getting abused. Your mum's this, your mum's that. He rhymes with Agbonlahor, so it's like your mum's a hey, what you call. That all made me want to score even more. Like that's what fans don't understand. It makes you want to even do better. So during that game, like I missed a few chances. I remember, and I'm like, I'm scoring. Like I'm scoring. I'm gonna run the most. I got the adrenaline through me for the whole game. I'm getting all sorts off the fans. I'm kicking their players all game, and like, when the goal went in, it's like, whoa! The Villa fans are in front of you celebrating. You know, you're making like hundreds of thousands of people happy. Going into work on a Monday, you're making their Mondays happy. Do you know what I mean? So for me, that second goal, it was like unbelievable.
Just rewind that a little bit before the game. What's the feeling like in the city and the build up to it? Because I'm a Newcastle fan, so I've been up to Newcastle Sunderland, massive. What is it like in the build up to that?
Bro, I've said this like to many people. Like, people can't even compare like Manchester City, Manchester United, Manchester United, Liverpool. Like, I don't want to hear it. Liverpool, Everton, Villa Blues is like you won't be talking after the game. You're not talking to them like after the whistles went. Like you're enemies, bro. You're like enemies. Like you never speak to any of their players ever. You'll never shake their hands. You'll never like. Do you know what I mean? So before that game, it's like. We got the game Sunday, you know, like we got a week to the game, 6 days to the game, 3 days to the game. Everyone's talking about adrenaline is coming through. Yeah, you're on the coach. The coach of the game, we're getting rocks thrown at the bus from the pubs. There's like when you get to Blues from town, there's like a few pubs on the way. So you get to the roundabout, and you got to stop because it's a roundabout, and there's a right next to you. So you're getting rocks. The players are on the floor from the rocks, not going through the bus. So you like this feels like some like Istanbul derby. Do you know what I
mean? Yeah. I've seen a few of them ones. Like
it's like whoa, the adrenaline. Our changing room at St Andrews is right under the Villa fans, so you can hear them.
Oh shit!
So you hear them singing when you come in from the warm up and you get ready 5 minutes before the game. You can hear them, so it's getting you up for the game. Everyone's shouting in the changing room, like, "Come on, we can't lose today." Do you know what I mean? So like. That whole atmosphere, and you come out and you're warming up, you're getting abused by the fans, all game, you're getting songs sang about you, and then to score, bro, in that game, it's like, you know what I mean? That's why I always done that celebration, because it's like, I can't hear it.
I bet you loved it as well, you just wind up. Yeah.
Where are all these people that were piping up? I can't hear nothing. You know what I mean? All I can hear is like celebrations from Villa fans, and it's like, bro, it's some mad adrenaline, man. Like I can't even describe it. And then after the game, your WhatsApp or whatever was out there, and iMessage was like, I'm talking like 200 messages. Like people spoke to in 10 years messaging you, people getting your number, missed calls. So, because like it's massive, bro, and like I play for England. Do you know what I mean? But for me, scoring in a derby, like there's no better feeling. The adrenaline is mad, and to score 5 goals. Against them is something that I'll never forget.
So hold on, you just mentioned something there. You play for England, of course. We'll get into that a bit later. But what's better, scoring in a derby or playing for England?
No, playing for England's better, but I mean, like the adrenaline of scoring in a derby.
Okay.
better. But yeah, it's the pinnacle of your career playing for England. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'd rather play for England than play in the Champions League. You know, England is like your country you're from. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's dreams. Watching Euro '96 as a 10-year-old.
Yeah.
One day you're going to play for England. It's like you're part of the 20 best players in the in English players available at a time of a game. Do you know how much and that is? Do you know what I mean? So that's
yeah.
100%.
Sick. Oh man. Oh, I got another question here from Aiden. It's going back to you when you was under O'Neill. So he says, what was the reaction around the camp when O'Neill left, and how did you feel about it, Gabby, when he walked?
I think with Martin, he'd been promised loads of transfers, and I think it might have been McGeady, Scott Parker, Robbie Keane, and then Randy Lerner didn't give him the money. So Martin O'Neill was a very stubborn guy, so he left. And just before he left, he was being a bit different. I remember, like, we had a training session, and he was in a bad mood, and he used to have this old school method of like, okay, kick the ball, and you have to go and run around the ball, the whole team, and run back to him. And then you kick it like a dog. All right, you get the ball and kick it, and he'd be like, all right, all of us round that ball back to you, and like, just like punishing us in a way of like, he was so angry of the situation.
Yeah.
And when he did leave, I was devastated. You know what I mean? It's like losing your dad. Do you know what I mean? Like, I got away murder with him. Do you know what I mean? I was like that teacher's pet. Do you know what I mean? Like, playing you every game. You're not scoring in 7 games, you're playing. It was one of them relationships. So I was devastated. I think the club's not been the same since. Until now, since then to now, it's not been the same. Until Dean Smith now, I can see Villa going back to them days.
Wow. What? So you made that, because again, obviously, I suppose, you guys were going places in that team. Like the team that I remember of Villa, yourself, like Carew, Heskey. Was it Carew, Heskey at the same time? Like Ashley Young, that sort of era. Like,
but the problem was Gareth Barry left first. Milner left. Young left. No, Young left after Martin O'Neill left. So Barry left, Milner left. So Martin O'Neill's probably thinking like, you want me to get into the top 4, but you're letting our best players go. So do you know what I mean? Like Villa were a selling club. Like, you can't do that if you want to get into the Champions League. Like, look at Southampton. If Southampton kept all their players, they'd be in Champions League now. But if you're a selling club and that's the way you want to, make your money or whatever, then you're never going to get there. So that was the frustrating thing for me, especially, and for Martin O'Neill. It was like, so I'm losing all these players. We're not going to give me the money I need to bring in players to get to the top 4. So, at that time, it was Villa just sold everyone, didn't they?
Yeah. Oh, just talk about that as well. Do you feel that you said it was frustrating, but as you said, you had that nucleus of a squad, and you was getting there, you was inching closer to being a consistent side. Like, how does that feel to then have it kind of all ripped away in what, a space of what, a season, 18 months?
I remember we got to the Carling Cup final and we lost to Manchester United 2-1, and Milner was still there, Downing, Milner, Young. I watched the work a few weeks ago. It was on at work, and I was watching it, and like, the team was a good team, man. Petrov, Milner, Downing, Heskey, Carew on the bench, and like, just needed to go again. When you got that team and you're like, you're two players away from turning 6th to 4th or 3rd, but we didn't go again. That's the frustrating thing. Do you know what I mean? Like, similar to probably Everton this year. If they miss out on top 4, they're probably a couple of players away from it. West Ham, probably a couple of players away from it. They're the times you got to go again. If you don't, and you let like the Declan Rices go or the Richardsons go, that's you're gonna end up 10th, 11th, 12th. That's what happened with Villa. We didn't like spend the 60 million we probably needed to get us into the top 4. We started selling everyone.
No, that's just disappointing, man. Got a couple more questions in here. So one from Billy says, advice to young players: 3 years in non-league or 3 years in an academy.
I think just keep going at it. Keep trying to improve, keep working the hardest, and we've seen from loads of different players. If you don't make it, at 19, doesn't matter. You don't make it at 25. Jamie Vardy, for instance, like, don't give up on your dreams. Do you know what I mean? Keep fighting. Some manager doesn't rate you, like Sheffield Wednesday and Watford for me. Martin O'Neill rated me. Do you know what I mean? So some people might not rate your game. Some people do. So don't always like give up if you get negative comments about you're not good enough. I used to get it in school. You're not good enough. You're not going to make it at Villa. All the kids, you make it. You know, no one makes it to Villa. You got no chance. Do you know what I mean? Jealousy. It was like, but I was always confident. I was like, well, I'm in the team at the moment, the youth team. So we'll see what happens. So just believe in your ability and your dream, and then you can make it.
Just going back to like when you first started, so you said, you know, you had a bad time at Watford, Sheffield Wednesday. What if in that game you didn't score and, you know, you on the bench or whatever? Would you have decided to kind of go elsewhere, or what would you have done in that situation there?
You know what? I think the way Villa were at that time was very boring football and disappointing. So I'm sure David O'Leary would have got the sack no matter if I'd scored or not. Do you know what I mean? Because I didn't change the result. So I'm sure I would have been in around the first team then again anyway, because I'm sure it was like March time. So it's only a few months of the season anyway. So I'm sure the same thing would have happened. Martin O'Neill would have got the job in the summer. So probably would have been the same outcome. Does that make sense? But
yeah.
Martin O'Neill probably would have got me from the reserves rather than got me in the first team already. If that makes sense.
So you would have just stuck it out then, basically, just keep going, because some people might have, like I think what Billy's alluding to, like some people might have said, oh, you know what, I'm gonna try elsewhere, or maybe drop down.
I think at that time, I think I'd already been on 2 loans that season. I couldn't really go on loan again.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
But there were disappointing loans. No one probably wanted me to go on loan again. Do you know what I mean? So I would have ended up staying to the end of the season, a few months, and then I would have been in the reserves, and then Martin O'Neill probably see some of the reserve team players play. Then I went on tour with the first team. Do you know what I mean? So I would have probably still picked me then, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Got one in here from Jay Savage. Shout out to you, man. Always listening. He says, what player would you have liked Villa to have signed when you were there? So again, at the hype of, you know, you just lost to Man United in the cup, and you said you just need to go again. At that period of time, what sort of player or what couple of players would have liked to brought in?
I think like the ones that Martin O'Neill wanted, you know, like a Robbie Keane, a McGeady, a Scott Parker, you know, just to add like squad depth as well. You know, like at that time, we didn't have a great backup team. That made sense. The players that were coming on weren't as good as the starting 11. So players like Scott Parker at that time, you know, he was experienced. Robbie Keane, McGeady was outstanding. I feel like them players definitely could have got us to the next level.
Okay. Those are the players that you would have signed, because I know that's what the players that he would have.
Yeah, but when I look back at them players, definitely, yeah, they would have been the ones, definitely, because they were quality players.
Okay. And obviously you were skipper, you was captain of your club as well. What was that like, putting on the armband? You've played for the club that you supported, you scored bare goals for them as well, but you've led them out as well and been captain. What was that like, man? First game as well.
You know what? I remember when it happened, it was like horrible circumstances. It was when my good friend Petrov fell ill with leukemia, and he was the captain at the time under Alex McLeish. And I remember when Petrov had become ill, and McLeish called me into the office, and he says, "Who do you think we should give the armband to?" And obviously, me at that time in my career, it'd always been a midfielder or a defender. You know, like that old school captain was never a striker.
Yeah.
It was more like that old school mentality I've been brought up on was like, you know, give it the big centre half or the midfielder. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't a winger or striker. I remember McLeish said, "No, I think you should have it." He says, "You're from here. It's your club. You've been here now for like in the team for like 4 or 5 years. Like you should have it." And I was like, "Me?" I was like, "You sure not like Richard Dunn or James Collins?" You know what I mean? I was like, "What about?" You know what I mean? Like they're the sort of guys that I thought were captain material. I wasn't captain material. Do you know what I mean? I was the prankster in the team, the one who like wanted to score the goals and run the attacking player. I didn't really have them captain. Do you know what I mean? But
But
become captain, I sort of trained myself to be a captain. I sort of knew the responsibility. You've got to run more in games. You've got to chase back more. You've got to be vocal. You've got to look like a lead. Do you know what I mean? So I sort of learnt them sort of things more and tried to like become the captain. It's weird. Like it's only an armband, but you feel it. This
Yeah.
arm feels heavier than this arm. It's weird. It's not. Feel it there. It keeps coming down, and you're lifting it up, and you feel like, you know what? I'm captain, man. I've got to do something here. If it's a goal or an assist, or I've got to go and kick someone or do something to lift spirits. Like, you're captain, like, and like, even off the field responsibilities, you've got to sort out the tickets. If there's not enough tickets, I was always buying tickets for the players to make sure there were enough tickets for everyone. It's like different responsibilities off the pitch as well. Like, is it okay in a hotel? Um, is there any things that the players want? Oh, we want 2 days. We want a day off. Okay, captain's got to go and ask the manager. Do you know what I mean? Like, you've got them sort of things to sort out as well. Like, oh, we don't like that. Okay, the captain goes to sort to the manager. So, like, this was all new to me. I used to just be the one that trained, and I was in. You know what I mean? I was in Nando's for like 12:30 p.m. You know what I mean? Not the one putting out like different things like as a captain should, but I enjoyed it and it was a dream as well. Do you know, like, even to play for Villa, but to retire and know the captain Villa on a number of occasions was like outstanding and amazing thing.
Nah, sick. But you talked about captains like being this sort of stereotype. It's got to be a centre half, it's got to be a centre fielder. But you got people like Beckham and stuff like that. Like Beckham was never, to me, never come across as a screamer, a shouter. But again, obviously, he led by example, led by performance, didn't he? So it's interesting you say that. Like you see some sort of, we have this sort of perceived way of how a captain should be, but at the same time, there's other people that just lead by example, isn't it?
It was just from the football we used to watch when we were coming in the academy, and it was all like, okay, Roy Keane's captain is going to kick people. Vieira's captain, Tony Adams. Do you know what I mean? It was like these guys, Southgate was probably captain of Villa for some time as well. So it was always like, you know what, the centre halves, because they're so aggressive, they can shout everyone from the back and order everyone about because they can see the game. Do you know what I mean? Not like doing the nice bits and making turns and scoring goals. They're not really putting tackles in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Football's changed and it's developed now, and like anyone can be captain. It doesn't really matter now, as long as you, like you said, Beckham, you're a leader on the pitch. Like even Grealish at Villa now, he's a leader by his performances.
Exactly.
Tyrone Mings is the loudest on the pitch because he organised everything. But Jack's captain because he's a leader. Oh, the game's not going very well. Okay, give me the ball. I'm captain. I'm going to make something happen. I'm not going to be one that hides. I'm not going to hide. I'm the captain, so pass me the ball. This new style captain is a captain going to make something happen, not just with the captain shouts. There was captains that I played under that just shouted, but they got turned every time they tried to make a tackle. You know what I mean? So, but they shouted because they were captain. Game. Do you know what I mean? So it's different. Like now, you don't have to be the big screamer to be the captain.
Nah, true that. We've got a couple of questions in there. So Billy says, funniest player you've played with and why?
Definitely Aston Young. Like, honestly, me and him were a nightmare together. We were the nightmare. Like, you couldn't turn your back. Like, parking in front of people's cars to block it in. Just the pranksters of, like, always trying to meg anybody on the train pitch. Like, if you didn't get a meg a day, you were fuming. It was just, like, the pranksters always laughing and joking. Do you know what I mean? That helped our relationship on the pitch. Because we had a relationship on the pitch and off the pitch, and even to today we have a great relationship. But me and him were like the pranksters, and I think you need that at football clubs. I think sometimes football can be too serious. There's times to be serious, but there's times to have fun. You know what I mean? Like, there's times to put stuff in players' lockers. There's times to like cut players' clothes up. There's times to do stuff that's funny and like have a laugh. It's like a playground, training ground. Sometimes, like playgrounds, you work hard in your class, it's on the pitch, and then when you got your time before training, after training, it's carnage.
Hey, when I hear all these footballers about cutting up clothes and stuff, I'd go off, bro. I don't care. I don't care how much I'm on, bro.
Or who done it? Do you know what I mean? Who did it?
Listen, I'm talking out to everyone like, yo, scissors. Like, I'm cutting everyone's clothes if you don't tell me. That's it.
There's lockers though, so like if you didn't lock your locker, your clothes got cut up. So you got to lock your locker. You got a code. You got to lock your stuff away. Your trainers, laces will be gone. Your new Louboutins or Nike Air Jordans, your laces will be gone.
Nah.
Putting fish in your trainers and stuff. Like,
nah, that's rude, man.
I know, mate, but it's just the way it is. Training grounds are carnage, mate. I'm telling you, like some of the stuff that like people
So
don't.
tell me one of the biggest pranks that you've seen personally, like what you've been a part of or seen in the
The biggest one was Fabian Delph and Shay Given. Shay was quite chirpy and like he was quite like he was funny, but he'd get people angry because he's got that sort of mouth that don't stop. You know, like he'd have a little like banter between each other, but he won't stop. And then like Delphi just like had enough, and Shay Given had a tablet for everything. It was for his vitamin D, vitamin C, vitamin bloody swat. Do you know what I mean? He had everything. You know, the one of them guys got all these tablets that they take every day. Delphi got his wash bag and emptied them all on the floor. All of them on the floor.
Oh,
It was annoying him. He wouldn't stop annoying him. So Shay was fuming and got his tablets up and that and put them away. And then I remember the Shay's clever. He waited till the last game of the season. And it's obviously hot, you know, on May.
Yeah.
And he got a big fish from the canteen and pull it in Delphi's car. But we had an away game. So sometimes the away game players don't come and get the cars, you know, they might stay. So Delphi's come back, but it's the last game of the season. So Delphi's come back to his car 3 days after the season had finished and got his car from the train. And he was like, "What's that smell?" And he got home and he opened his boot, and he had the big fish in there. He was messaging, "Where are you? Where do you live? They kill you." But it was hilarious. Shay was his head off because he's off season. Shay was like, I'm on holiday, mate. Like, what's going on? Delphi had enough time to calm down before the season started again in 6 weeks. But honestly, we couldn't stop laughing. Imagine smelling fish in your car and sitting there in the heat for 3 days. But it's what I mean. There's players would let each other's tyres down and stuff. Like, honestly, you see the tyre man coming in to sort out players' tyres. It's carnage. And managers don't get involved. Managers are in their office. They're just laughing like...
You're like big kids, you lot, man. You're a killer, man.
Telling you, bro.
Imagine that, man, having a fish in your car, man. That's killer, man. Oh, my days. What was I going to say? So, talk me through your best 11. I'd always do this with a guest. So, who's the best 11 that you played with? Not against, but with.
For just Villa or altogether?
Just in general. So, again, it could be England, Villa.
Yeah, I've done this before. I can't remember the team now. I think goalkeeper, I went David James, Brad Friedel, Brad Guzan, great goalkeepers given, but just with England, you know, you don't realise how good David James is until you go to England with him. And goalkeeper, stopper, so big and, you know, great shot stopper. So David James in goal, right back Mika Richards. We had some crazy battles over the years, and I think
is he is on TV?
Huh?
Is he as funny as he is on TV? Because all I just see,
honestly, I could meet Mika for a coffee and sit there laughing for 10 minutes before we even speak. He'd see me walking, I'll start laughing. He'd start laughing. Honestly, he's hilarious. He's just amazing guy, just funny. Honestly, like his laugh makes you laugh. Do you know what I mean? You don't have to say anything funny, and like his laugh will make you laugh. Just a proper sick guy. So he's right back because like youngest player to play for England. I think he was a defender at the time. Youngest defender, wasn't he? And just like the career he had to make his debut so early, and the career he had for Manchester City in England, and it was so tough to get past. Honestly, you'd think he'd paced him, and then you get that big old shoulder knock you into the line. Do you know what I mean? Into the advertising board. It might be a little bit quicker than me going into your advertising boards. You're not getting like similar to like the way Wan-Bissaka defends now.
Yeah,
but you're not getting
is butch, like he was just
but like bigger, so like you're not getting past him, like impossible. So definitely Micah right back. Centre half. I went with Martin Larsson at Aston Villa.
Yeah,
he was outstanding. He only had a few years because of his knee, but I've never seen someone win so many headers. Just a rock at the back. You know, he should have had a better career, but his knees were like so bad. So Martin Larsson and John Terry. Even like I played with him at Aston Villa. I was in England squads with him. Just like you think you'll get past him easily because you're quicker than him, but he don't give you the chance. Like he's clever. Like he won't run in and get tight to you like people like Lindelof probably do now because he knows that you might spin and running behind, so he'll give himself space. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like very clever defender. His left-footed pings out wide, right pings out wide. You forget how good he was, and for me, like definitely like top 3 centre halves that played in the Premier League. Outstanding defender, and he's in there. And left back Ashley Cole. I mean, speaks for itself. England squads with him like ridiculous. Like you didn't even try and go past him for against Chelsea as well. The amount of battles I had with him in my early years, I used to play on the right wing. Me and him non-stop running that way. He's running that way. Just amazing battles at the age of 19 that I loved. Do you know what I mean?
Man, I still don't think he gets enough credit, man. I still don't think.
No. But he was outstanding, mate. Outstanding. Then centre midfield, Gareth Barry. He was outstanding. I mean, when I got into the Villa side, just always look forward. Ashley Young would get the ball late off to Gareth. Gareth would spin it in behind for me, the perfect amount of pace. Do you know what I mean? Just always look forward, fit, and like a great guy with a great career that he's had. He
always struck me as like a bit of a simple midfielder. Just like does it, just like pops off to someone.
Like always make third man running as well. Going midfield back then, it was a 2. He'd be like a 2, but he'd always make that run beyond the left winger into the space. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he didn't just sit there. He done everything that he could do. Do you know what I mean? Like, amazing penalties. Rarely missed penalties as well. Reliable. It's the perfect player to have in your team.
Yeah, thing on him as well.
Stilian Petrov. For me, like unbelievable player. Underrated as well. You don't realise how good he was. Especially in that Villa side, Celtic as well before. Technically unbelievable, and always wanted to play forward. That's like on the half turn. Always wanted to score goals, score screamers. The one against Derby from the halfway line. Both footed as well. Just an outstanding.
Loved that Villa, wasn't he? Proper loved.
Yeah, loved. Outstanding player. So them 2 as the centre midfielders. Right wing was Ashley Young. Obviously, he's left winger, but I'll put him on the right. Ashley Young, for me, like second best player I played with for Villa. Just the way he would.
You say second?
That I played with.
Oh, okay. I wonder who's the first.
Just the way he would get the ball on the left, and like, I think if you showed these youngsters videos of him at Aston Villa, they'd be like, "Whoa, that was Ashley Young. He was that sick." Yeah. He'd get the left wing and dribble past everyone, and then cut back again. The defender's dancing, then he'd whip it in to the exact right position in the box where Mio Crew would make a run and get a head on goal. The amount of goals I scored from Ashley Young crosses, like he's still playing at Inter Milan now at 35. Like just a standing career. Manchester United won league titles. Just outstanding player.
That's what I was going to ask you. When you're talking about you two and him with your banter, yeah? What was you saying to him when that moment happened, when that bird shit dropped on his lip?
Yeah, we were hammering him, and he was like, "Bro, it didn't go in my mouth." He was like, "It didn't go in my mouth. What are you on about?" He always denies it still. And we're like, "You're on the camera?" He's like, "Nah, it didn't go in my mouth." He's the sort of guy that, like, you could catch him, like, taking your last Rolo, be like, "Nah, I didn't do it." Do you know what I mean? Like, he didn't like do it, but we would just laugh. Like, the back was mad when that happened. It was hilarious. We're like, close your mouth, Ash. But, hilarious. But he was that good, though, that, like, when I was on loan at Watford, I was brought in on loan because he was injured.
Oh.
I remember being on loan and coming out to training. I've seen this guy doing shooting. He was obviously getting ready to come back. Bro, he would have missed it. Every shot was on in the corner. I was like, who's this guy? Never heard of him. I was like, who's this? He was like, oh, it's Ashley Young. He was like the main boy at Watford, like Marlon King.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa. Bro, I'm talking about hitting corners from outside the box every shot. I was like, whoa. So obviously from that time, he'd already become like an outstanding player. So for me, like, he's definitely there. Trying to think how many players I've taken. So I picked Petrov, Barry, Young, David Beckham.
You put him on the left. I thought you put
on the left. Young on the left. David Beckham. For me, because played with him for England, and I've never seen anything like it. Training, never seen anything like it. I was just there like that, just like every shot he took, top corner. I'm talking like any angle, any position, touch. It was like he was taking a free kick in training every time he took a shot. Touch, top corner. Keepers were just throwing their arms up like, what's the point diving? Like, what's the point? Do you know what I mean? Like, outstanding, mate.
He worked on it from what I hear. He just worked on it day in, day out, just constantly. Boom, boom, boom.
The most rated player we probably ever had. Like, he's out. Like, do you know what I mean? And I'm just happy that I got a chance to play with him and train with him. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'll tell you that. Do you know what I mean? I played with David Beckham. Like, so David Beckham there. So I'm down to 2. This player for me, like, Jack Grealish as number 10. For me, like, I've not seen nothing like it. Nothing. People don't realise. People are seeing this season what I've been saying. Earlier on in the season, I said Iniesta, I got hammered. Like, this guy is a joke. Like,
you put him up there with Iniesta, yeah?
No. When I mentioned the comments earlier on in the season, I got hammered because I said that the way he plays is similarities to parts of Iniesta's game. That was the way he drifts past players. Iniesta done it the best for me in that position. Just drift past you, and you don't think players like Iniesta and Jack are quick. But they've got that acceleration, mate. That, like, they're not rapid where you can put them in behind and they're gonna, like, outpace defenders. But give them that ball, they're running past anyone with that ball.
Yeah.
Jack is unbelievable. When he first come into the team and, like, at Villa, I was like, who's this guy? Like, just the confidence as a 17-year-old to come and train with the first team. I'm like, who's this kid with his socks down? Like, what's going on here? Like,
you got his socks down from them.
You know what I mean? This isn't allowed in football. Like, you can't do that. Do you know what I mean? But it was his own person. He had his own aura. It was like, this is me. I want my socks down. I'm 18. Man, you don't want to pick me. Don't pick me. I'm not putting my socks up. That was him from that age. He had that. He knew how good he was. Everyone used to talk about him in the youth team. Like, wait till you see the player. And I was like, is he that good? They're like, yeah, wait. And the way he took his game on the last 2 years has been incredible. And, like, honestly, like, for me, the best player I played with Aston Villa.
When he had a couple run-ins outside of football. Have you had a little word of when he got captured with Big Batty Brenda and stuff like that? Did you say, "Yo, bro, just calm down"?
But what you know what? I didn't, because what can I say? I had run-ins all over the gas. Like, I was in the papers every week for nonsense off the field.
That's what I'm saying. That's why, like, the voice of reason, Gabby can come in and be like, "Yo, bro, I've been there. Trust me."
But if that was me, I'll be like, "Bro, you can't talk. Look what you done." Like, do you know what I mean? Like, that's what I'll be like. You need someone that's been, like, straight through their career, no problems. Talk to him.
Because I see it the other way around. Like, if you've been through it and you're like, what, 10 years, 10 years ahead of him, whatever. Like, you can say, okay, look, this is how it's gonna pan out. Just allow all that. Wait till you're done.
A couple of times, you know what? Just be careful. Like go out at the right times. Do you know what I mean? That's what I didn't do sometimes, but go out at the right times. Like, no one's asking, like, you to be this saint. Like, if you want to go out, go out. Do you know what I mean? Like, footballers allowed to go out, but do it at the right time. Just be careful. But he's learned from that now, and he's put all that behind, which is good. But sometimes, like, when I was younger, I got players telling me to, like, be careful there. But when you're in that bubble and that life, like, you're not listening to anyone, mate. You're doing your own thing. Like, do you know what I mean? You're independent. You're a footballer. You're not listening to no one. You're doing your own thing. And that was me. But Jack, I think he's been spoken to by ex-managers, I think, as well, that he's had. I think he's taken their advice and he's doing everything right now, and I think that's credit to him because he knows like he's at that stage now where it's like the go time of his career, so he can't afford bad press, and the press are after him. They're after me. They're after Sterling. They're after these. I was the chosen one. I was the chosen one during my era of like, let's get him. Do you know what I mean? Like,
On you, bro.
Pap, bro, coming out of restaurants like in central London. I'm like, I said to the guy, like, why are you photographing me in my face? He's like, so Gabby, when you mess up, we got pictures to put on their story. I was like, rah. Like, that's what he was saying to me.
Nah. What, he honestly said that to you?
Yeah, it was like, yeah, we use them for when you mess up again. So they're just the pictures that we'll use on the story. So if he's coming out of a restaurant with a girl, if he's coming out of a restaurant drunk or a club drunk. So it comes to the stage where us players are going out the fire exits of clubs. At the back exits of clubs, jumping into cars to avoid the paps at the front. Like the club will tell you that there's paps at the front, go out the back exit. You had to go through a kitchen, through another building. It was like going through a maze to get away from them. It was mad, bro. So like, he's the one that they're after. Do you know what I mean? So he knows that, and he's being very careful now, and he's just concentrating on his football. But for me, number 10, outstanding. For me, top 3 Premier League players in the season, this season so far, and for me, 100% starter in the Euros.
Sick. And I'm guessing that what you're picking him to go alongside you, yeah? You're picking yourself in your own team.
Nah, no way, no way. John Carew.
John Carew, okay. Why John Carew?
I think one guy picked themselves, and we've done it. Like players do it for Premier League TV, and one player picked himself, and he got hammered for it. But John Carew for me, he comes to Villa from Lyon. I remember like when he come, I was like, I remember watching this guy Valencia, some big ass guy. I remember watching him in the Champions League for Valencia, like watching on the TV, thinking like, who's this giant? How can he run so fast? He's like, do you know what I mean?
It's huge, bro. It's huge.
5 or whatever, like giant, quick, bullet of a shot, both feet. I was like, who's this guy? And like, he comes to Villa for Barros. I was like buzzing, like, whoa, this guy's here, man. Like, and we kicked off straight away partnership. Big guy, smallish guy, quick guy in behind, guy who could hold the ball.
Yeah.
Don't be fooled. He could pick the ball up and run down for the pitch of the ball at speed. He had them quick, long strides, Carew. But Villa could have done with him for maybe 3 years before as well. We had like a good few years with him, but he sort of got to 30, 31. Do you know what I mean? He always had injuries and, his legs weren't as quick, but amazing guy to play with. Party boy off the field. We had some good nights, man. Like, we'd be on the motorway, like, next to each other, like, see you at the club. Do you know what I mean? We were always out together. But, like, just an amazing guy. Lived his life off the field. Enjoyed clubbing. Enjoyed different things off the field. But on the field, unbelievable player and outstanding striker to play with.
Just going back to a comment you made earlier, like, when you the paparazzi thing. Why do you think they picked you? Like, as you said, you just mentioned Carew, party guy. I'm sure Young was out as well. Why did they pick you? Like, why did they hone in on you? You feel?
I think because I was like the main boy at Villa, the local lad. No, and obviously I was getting into England squads. Don't forget, so I had the England thing as well. You know what I mean? If you get into England squads, it's like okay, it's like we got to get them. Do you know what I mean? England star does this. England star caught smoking shisha. England star caught doing balloons. England star caught scratching his head. Do you know what I mean? Like you can't do it. It's mad and like that's why I say friends and family. I'm buzzing that they don't care about me no more, and like I love it. I can go to restaurants. I can come out of a club. Do you know what I mean? With like my t-shirt around my head, they wouldn't care. Old news. Do you know what I mean? I love that now.
Yeah.
Like, players now who are in it now, and I'm like, I'd hate to be them. I hated it during my career. I remember the one year, Tim Sherwood said to me, called me in the office, he said, "Are you okay?" I was like, "Nah, not really." I had 3 stories in 3 days consecutively on the front page of the Sun. 3 days in a row about my private life, and like, that's what I mean. When they're after you, bro. They're like, they don't care about your mental health or how it's going to affect you other players laughing at you because you're on the front page again. I was getting messages like, "Oh, just on my way to work, mate. Just gone past the train station. You're on the paper again." I was like, "Huh? Again?" The press officer at Villa phoning me the night before because I find out the night before stories coming out.
Oh yeah.
Stories coming out tomorrow. I'm like, "Oh, you're joking? Are you like you proper like shitting yourself?" Do you know what I mean? You're like, "Oh no, not again." They're like, "Yeah, there's been a picture of Dubai where you've been smoking shisha." You're like, "Oh." So you're bringing a story out on the front page of the paper for me smoking shisha. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
slow news day must be.
but that's what I mean, bro. Look at Sterling, bro. Like, Sterling does something for his family. It's negative press. Another player does it. It's like how caring and lovely of him to do that. How down to earth. Sterling does it. It's like, can't believe he's done that. How flash. Do you know what I mean? So like that's the thing. They pick certain players, and certain players they won't pick on. Does that make sense?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. But at least you're free now. Anyway, you can do what you want.
I'm free.
Got a last couple questions in here. So Northwood Reds under 13s, they're saying, what is the best piece of advice you've received from a coach/manager?
You know what? I think it was Martin O'Neill. I remember going on a run of games where I hadn't scored, and he was like, "Gabby, don't worry. Like, Marlon Harewood's come on and scored. Few games. It was like, don't worry, you're playing." Do you know what I mean? Like, it didn't matter. Marlon scored 7 goals in a game. I'm playing next game, basically. And he was just like, "I've got faith in your ability. I know how good you are. I know that, like, I'm going to keep with you during the hard times you go. I know you're going to come good." And for me, I thought, like, he's backing me here. Come on, sort yourself out. Start scoring goals, like, get better positions. And I'd always get over them little bad runs of, like, not scoring because of him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Managers just take you out when you don't score for 3 games. Your confidence is going to be shattered.
Yeah.
Martin Hill would like keep you in because you know what, you can't just adore them and like when they're scoring all the goals, but then treat them like dirt when they're not scoring. Do you know what I mean?
It's got to have your back at all times, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly, and that's what he was good at. He was amazing for me with that, and yeah, that was the best advice.
No, sick for that, man. Got another one here from Brownie. Says, what's it like playing to working at Talksport? So, obviously, you're now in the media now. You're a media guy. You're on the other side of the fence now. What's that like?
You know what? It's hard because when I was playing, I didn't really like, radio companies and papers and pundits because when things weren't going well, you used to get hammered by them. Do you know what I mean? And especially ex-players that play for Aston Villa used to hammer the team and always have an opinion and be negative. So when I stopped playing, I said to myself, you know what? I'm not going to hammer. I might hammer Spurs or Arsenal, but I'm not hammering my own team. Simple.
Yeah.
Like I'm being positive. Like Villa lose, I'm gonna comment and say, you know what, it was unlucky today. They can do better, but blah blah blah. But when I was playing, ex-players were like, not good enough today. He was rubbish. He needs to get. Do you know what I mean? Like, I was never gonna be that guy. So like when I work on a radio now and Villa might lose, I'll just be like, you know what, he could have done a bit better. He won't be happy. Faith in the manager, faith in John Terry. They'll get things back to normal and. Do you know what I mean? I'll never be that guy because I went through it. I couldn't be that guy that then goes and do it to the players of the next generation, players that I know as well.
Yeah.
Like players that I know in that team, I'm going to be like, "Oh, he was rubbish today." Do you know what I mean? Even if it was rubbish, I'm not going to say it. Like I'm on the fence with my own team, simple as that. But
yeah.
I will say, you know what? He's not been good enough. Like David Luiz can't make that mistake. Pepe's not been good, or Willian's not been good. Do you know what I mean? Because I don't know them. I got no affiliation to that team. Does that make sense?
So basically, anyone else can get it apart from Villa. That's what you're trying to say.
Right?
Especially Leeds, basically. Especially Leeds.
Hey, they do. They're getting it. They're getting it forever.
I love it, man. This last one, just like, what's next for you going forward? Obviously, after lockdown, we've got a couple more weeks to go. Anything that you got coming up?
I think for me, just like I'm really enjoying the media work. Like I've been doing more and more over the last 6 months, and the thing that I enjoy about it the most, even before you talk about what you're doing, I've been privileged. People are stuck at home, and I'm getting to go to London to comment on football and watch football and be a pundit. So I see that as a privilege, you know, like that's how my mental health from the first lockdown, because the first lockdown was hard, but this lockdown has been fine for me because I've been able to work. I've been working 2 or 3 days a week in London, so I'm out and about. Do you know what I mean? So like that's the first thing, and just being able to talk about football. Like what better job for a footballer after they retire to talk about football? You know it all. It's your passion. You're getting paid to talk about football and watch football. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
for me, that's more what I feel like I want to do than coaching. I feel like coaching, it's hard to get an opportunity. You don't know where to start, to be honest, with coaching. Like, so for me, it's more, I've got coaching badges. They're there. They're stocked away if I need them and I get the opportunity. But for me, it's talking about football, getting to have your opinion. Do you know what I mean? Being trusted with your opinion with every football team, not just Villa, with every football team that's going on. And I'm loving it. I really enjoy it, and trying to do as much as possible as well to keep busy. Because when you finish football, I've said to players now that are playing, I says, try and get something set up for when you finish. Because believe me, when I used to play football in my career, I used to think to myself, okay, I'm going to play football to 35, retire, and then go on 7, 8 holidays a year. You know, sit at the cafe in the mornings, you know, go to the park, go on holiday. But
Never works out like that.
you do that for a year maybe, and you're like, I'm bored of going on holiday. I'm bored of going away. I'm bored of doing it. I need to wake up on a Monday with something in my diary.
35 still young, man. 35 still young.
I was waking up on a Monday and I was like, looking at my diary, I've got nothing on, bro. I'm sitting at home on my sofa at 9 a.m. and I've got nothing to do. I'm thinking to myself, I'm 34. I mean, some people have only just qualified as like surgeons and stuff at like 30 stuff, and like I can't retire now. I can't do nothing. I can't just be a snob and sit at home and just eat rubbish and watch box sets. And do you know what I mean? I couldn't do that. Like for me, it was like, come on, do something. So I got into the punditry, and now I don't turn down a job. It don't matter what job it is, where it is. I do it because I just love being busy. I'm used to having a schedule. Even if I get like a few hours notice, can you do this job in London? My bag's packed. I'm on the train. Like, do you know what I mean? Because I don't want to be stuck at home, bro. Like, people don't realize. Like, people probably realize now because of lockdown that like everyone can't wait to get out of the house, because you say to people you can have a month off. After a week or 2 weeks, they'll be like, you know what?
Boring, bro.
Boring, bro.
Yeah.
Nothing to watch. If you're bored, like you start eating rubbish because you're stuck at home and do you know what I mean? You're bored, so you eat rubbish. You start putting weight on. You're like, nah, I can't go out like. So for me now, just buzzing to be able to do this punditry and it's keeping me busy, giving me a purpose really to keep busy.
So you're not gonna fling the boots back on even if a team calls you up, nah?
Nah, you know what it is, bro. Like
Little Sunday League thing. Come on, little Sunday League. Come on.
You know why I wouldn't play Sunday League? The big thing, I would have played, you know, for free for over 35 next year. But the reason why I'll never do it is because, bro, I'm a hated man in Birmingham by West Brom, Wolves. Every team I play against is going to have someone that supports one of them teams. So I want my legs broken on a Sunday morning by a Birmingham City fan who wants to make a name for himself with his mates. Why would I put myself? Do you know what I mean? Why? I mean, some cold morning in Solihull and you're getting like 2-footed. Turns out a 22-man brawl on the pitch. What benefit am I getting out of that? Do you know what I mean, bro?
And then you'll be back in the papers and be like, Gabby Agbonlahor.
Gabby involved in 22-man brawl in Sunday League team because Birmingham City fan called him names on the pitch. You know what I mean? I know what it's like. Like, other players have done it, like Lee Hendry, and he's got into fights playing at over 35s, and I just don't see the point in it. Like, I play six-a-sides with ex-players like Gareth Barry, Petrov, Hutton. We play like six-a-sides between us with like lads from the area, but that's it because it's just not worth it. Do you know what I mean? I've never got my leg broken playing in the Premier League. I'm not getting it broken playing on a Sunday. Do you know what I mean? It's not going to happen. Because someone want to make a name for themselves, like the person. Like, why? It's not worth it.
You're gonna upset some teams. I've got some Birmingham teams in this chat right now. I'm listening, hoping to sign you up, man. In fact,
I had loads of offers. You know, I remember the day that I retired. I retired because I played for a year, and like I remember going to a charity event, and the owner of Solihull Moors, he came up to me and says, "Oh, would you sign for us?" And you know, we got a chance of going to Wembley, and you know, and like I don't know what, I just felt proper like insulted. Do you know what I mean? Like
What?
I've spent 12, 13 years at Aston Villa playing at the top in the Premier League at Old Trafford. I'm getting offers. I was getting managers from Wrexham, from these clubs messaging me saying like, "Would you come and play?" I was like, "Come on, like it's not gonna happen. I'm not going from Aston Villa. No offense to them teams, but like, do you know what I mean? I'm not.
Gabby, man, come on, like just a little year here, little run out.
No. I know what it's like, bro. Like, I just know what it's like at them teams, bro. It's not like you're gonna go there and go and bang in 20 goals, bro. You couldn't go 30 games without scoring in them teams. It's not like you. Do you know what I mean? It's not like it's going to be easy. They're still tough places to play. So for me, it was more like, you know what? After I had that offer, I was like, you know what? Let me just retire, like publicly, so that these offers stop. Because me, I was always gonna never play for anyone but Aston Villa. Because I loved Aston Villa so much. It was like, when my time's up, whatever happened, my time's up, Aston Villa, I'm done. Do you know what I mean? My body, I probably could have played 2 more years, 3 more years, but I thought, why? Like, I've been sensible with my money financially. I've looked after it. I've invested it. I've had an amazing career. Top Aston Villa goal scorer in the Premier League. Second top after Gareth Barry appearances in the Premier League. 320 something. Played for my country. Captain Aston Villa. Do you know what I mean? I've done everything that I wanted to do in the game. Like, that's it. Do you know what I mean?
So you basically ain't got no regrets then. That's it. You've done everything.
People say, like, you've got regrets retiring at 32. I've got none whatsoever. Do you know what I mean? Some players play on and then they can't play with their kids when they're 45 because they put their body into the ground. Do you know what I mean? Like, with injury and stuff. I was lucky with injury. I didn't get too many. But I've had an amazing career and, you know, no regrets. Like, I would never come out of retirement to try and play. Like, it's not for me.
Look, lads, I tried to get him back, but he's not having it. He's too comfortable being a pundit.
And the fitness, trust me, if you don't play for 2 years, it'll take you 6 months to get fit for any league. I'm telling you.
This is Sunday League we're talking. We're all coming out of lockdown. We're all really the rest of it. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about fitness.
I can picture it running through on goal and someone boots your legs together and you go tired in the air. All right, Ray, I'm walking. No.
And someone snapping away. Got that.
Someone on the sideline videoing the brawl because like Gabby's kicked off because he's been 2-footed. Do you know what I mean? You imagine that on social media, Instagram,
video. You're going viral, bro. Do you know
what I mean? Like that's what I mean. Like I'll never do it because I've been so vocal and I've been like the Birmingham destroyer. You don't understand in these ends of Birmingham. Like me and Jack are like the most hated guys by them that fan base. So like that area is going to be full of like Birmingham City fans playing Sunday League, so it's just not worth it. Do you know what I mean? Like, no.
The Birmingham Destroyer, I love that.
If I'd moved to London or Manchester, I played for a team there. That's different. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
No.
All right, so I'll hold you to that. I might set up a vets team, and that's it. I'm getting you on.
Drive down in it to play in London.
Yeah. Come, man. Someone just last minute one says it's a shame you didn't play international football for Nigeria. How come you chose to go to Nigeria?
I spoke to my dad about this the other day, and I told him that, like, you know what, everywhere I go, I get it. You know, what's funny as well, one story was that I was in a nightclub in London when I was 23, I think it was. I remember a bouncer in the club, a Nigerian bouncer, like, kicking off at me. He was like, you didn't choose to play for Nigeria. I was obviously drinking and stuff. I was like, I didn't get asked. I didn't get invited. And he's like, no, you didn't. He threw me out the club, the bouncer. So I didn't even pay the bill. So I had a table. I didn't even have to pay the bill. The next day I was like, I got thrown out the club for like not playing for Nigeria. And I was like, everyone that asked me now and like over my career, I was like, I didn't get. It's not as if like I got asked and I was like, okay, choose England or Nigeria. England was the only club that approached me. Do you know what I mean? Nigeria, that's what people don't believe and don't understand is that they didn't approach me. if you can try and find proof that they approached me, you'll never find it. But that would have been a tough decision. Because obviously my dad, my stepmom is Nigerian, who brought me up. Do you know what I mean? So like, it would have been a tough decision for me to make, but I didn't have a decision because no one asked me.
Okay. He threw you out of the club though.
Oh, yeah, first. Out, mate. Out,
You know what it reminds you of? Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yeah. Open the door. Oh, you're done. That's your night done, sir. I was fuming.
Oh man, that's mad. That's mad. But again, you play for England. You play for your country that you grew up in as well. So again, it's not exactly like.
I've got like ridiculous amount of family in Nigeria, and like, I would have loved to have played for Nigeria. Do you know what I mean? My good friend Carly came. He played for Nigeria. He loved it. So yeah, but just people that are watching. Gabby didn't get invited to play.
There you go, man. But at least I don't know if you've seen this this sort of trend now as well. Last week it happened. So a lot of players are getting scouted for Jamaica now. So a lot of players that could play for England, like I don't know, Max Aarons, Isaac Hayden.
Okay. That's good though. Yeah. I like to see it. Why not? Because all them players end up coming together and playing for Jamaica. They're gonna have a great team. They've got a good team now. Like anyway, Jamaica. But if these players go and play for them, they've got every chance.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, and it's a shame, isn't it? If you look back at the players that could have played for Jamaica, could have played for Nigeria that haven't, there's some outstanding players, isn't there?
Nah, for sure. It is for sure. But yeah, someone said report him. They're talking about that bouncer.
Not playing for 3 nights, so I'm not complaining.
Fair enough, man. Oh, bro, listen, man. It's been a pleasure having you on. The time's flown by, man. I can't believe we've been speaking for this long, but it's been great, man. And
bro, anytime, all right.
Nah, I appreciate it, man. Thank you for coming on, and thank you everyone for listening as well. I hope you enjoyed it as well. Cheers, man.
Brother, laters, man.
Take care.